Hello, and welcome to the Divine Audacity podcast. My name is Ona, and today we are going to dive into your inherent medicine. So many people go through the world only going so far as to give their interests some validity. And the deeper truth of their inherent medicine doesn't always feel permission to come forward. And I heard a story once about a very special tree called the yew tree. And so it sounds like they're saying you, Y-O-U, but the tree, I believe, is spelled Y-E-W, the yew tree. And the yew tree, for a long time, was seen as not being useful because I guess you can't use its lumber in the same way. It doesn't have this like, fruit that you can eat. And really, it was that people couldn't see how they could extract from this tree. And so they started cutting them down, right? It was like, this is a garbage tree. I think people even called it that. This is a garbage tree. This is a useless tree. This tree doesn't have a place here. And this story of the yew tree was really impactful for me when I heard it because there's so much of my own beingness and my own just like essence that from a very early age I just wrote off as like, well, that part's not useful. That part's garbage. And now I've opened my eyes and I've seen so many people doing the same thing. But for a tree, of course, she just held steady, right? For a tree, she's just still the yew tree. She's just still her inherent medicine, right? She continues to be what she is. And it wasn't that long ago that they discovered that the yew tree had something very special indeed, which is, I think it's in her bark. But you can actually make a medicine from this tree that has been shown to help with cancer. And it's helped people with cancer. It's done amazing things. And to think that all this time, writing it off as like this tree isn't useful, this tree isn't doing anything good for us. And really, it's an incredibly powerful medicine that we as humans desperately need right now. And I connect with this story because me, along with many other people I've met, there's an intensity and there's a bigness to your energy. I know if you're drawn to my world, there's a bigness to your energy. And often, when you have a really big energy, you're told to keep it in, to like take a little off the top, to tone it down a few notches, right? You don't want to hurt anyone and you don't want to make things worse, right? You don't want to be a burden. You don't want people to not like you. You don't want to not belong. And so from a very young age, these these women, these men, even men even, yes, also men, although I tend to work with women, but they immediately discredit a really key piece of their medicine because it's seen as not useful. It's seen as not what people want. But as we're coming into this year of the horse, as we're, I don't know, age of Aquarius, maybe it's just me being 33 and feeling this with the people in my field that we're being called to stand strong in our medicine. to be the yew tree, to not be shaken when it feels uncertain. So when you go and you put your medicine out in the world, there will be moments where it feels like it's not going anywhere. There will be moments where you wonder if everybody would be better off without your business or your gifts or your medicine. There will be moments where you feel you've poured your heart into something, you've written something brilliant, you've created something brilliant, and nobody even sees it, and nobody even likes it. But the yew tree never wavered. The yew tree's medicine never went anywhere. And we use that medicine today. And what we're being called to today is to stand steady, to embrace the pressure and the pain sometimes of what it means to hold, to be what you are, to know that even if it doesn't seem this way at first, right? Even if it doesn't seem like it's good enough, even if it doesn't seem like other people like want it, even if there's these moments that still you're going to keep putting it out there. And that doesn't mean being rigid, right? We're dynamic beings, okay? You're always growing, you're always refining, you're listening. You don't you don't want to have a reactive relationship to the people you serve where you're just like, "Do you like this? Do you like this? Oh, you didn't like this? Maybe I'll create this instead. Do you like that?" No. That is not you standing in your inherent medicine. That is not you standing in your gifts. It's also not sitting up in a tower, really, really rigid, preserving your gifts and not like fully collaborating and sharing them. It's not that either. It's about listening. It's about listening deeply to the people who are in your field, who are coming into your life, who notice you, right? And just shining as you are right now unapologetically. Because here's the thing, you will change, you will grow, and you have to be okay with the fact that your evolution doesn't discredit the truth of anywhere you were at any given part of that journey. So you get to be unapologetically in the truth of exactly where you are. And the medicine, the like real core of the medicine never really changes, even as you evolve. So do you see how it's not rigid? It's constantly changing, it's constantly growing and evolving to serve at a deeper and deeper level. But at the same time, it's your inherent medicine, and your essence is still the same. Your essence is still there. And that is what you've got to stick with. And how do you know if you're coming out of your inherent medicine? Okay, well, to a certain extent, you can't mess it up. Right? I mean, not even to a certain extent. Like in an ultimate sense, you can't really mess it up. Okay? It's you. So you're not messing it up ever. It's not something that you're like doing wrong, okay? So any time I speak about, not being your truest essence or like not being in your inherent medicine, the words are falling short because it's not that you're still it. You can't really mess it up. All it is creating more space and time between you and the impact that your inherent medicine can have. There's more potential. You can't mess it up, but you can create buffers. You can create distance. You can be in a pattern that stops your inherent medicine from shining to its fullest potential for a longer amount of time. And so at the end of the day, any type of real guidance, I feel, is only valuable because it helps collapse time. Mentorship, guidance, any of these things, they are not there to make you better. They are not there to give you something you don't have. If you come to it from that place of like there's something deficient about me or my business and it needs to be fixed, you're just going to learn a lot of lessons. But when you know it's all sourced from within, true guidance, actual beneficial guidance, all it's doing is removing more and more of that buffer. It's removing more and more of the illusion of linear space and time. So, what you might have previously thought would be a lifelong endeavor, a jump can happen in a day, a month, an instant, right? It doesn't matter. As soon as there's no contradiction between you and what you're meant to, you and who you are, you and your essence expressed in the world, right? Because that's the thing. There's never, at a very core level, there's no real contradiction. You are your essence. You are your inherent medicine. But how that then expresses and relates to the world and impacts other people, that can have contradiction, which just slows things down. Okay? It's essentially the same thing with manifestation, with wanting something in your life that's not there right now. The only reason it's not there right now, like wealth or ease or um, a client wait list, right? Whatever isn't there right now isn't there because of a level of contradiction in your field, a level of contradiction in the way you relate to others and you relate to the world. Part of you wants it, part of you doesn't. There's safety mechanisms at play because of basic core human wounding. And so, guidance, to me, the point of guidance, the value of guidance only exists in the ability for guidance to eliminate that buffer, to collapse the timeline. Because all of the real answers are inside of you. And there is so much coaching and there is so much mentorship where actually it can create a longer timeline. And this isn't a bad thing inherently, right? Because it's just like other contradiction in your field where you learn lessons and you grow along the way. But quality guidance is guidance that can see and feel your inherent medicine, your essence. It's not trying to change that. It's not trying to add to it. It's not trying to um, fit it into a box. It's not trying to fit it into another way of doing things or another strategy. It sees that. It sees the inherent medicine fully and completely. And then the guidance is to bring harmony and coherence into any contradictions in your field. So examples of contradictions might be, I want to be chosen and have a wait list of people, but I also feel I'm not good enough. And deep down, I have nothing to offer, right? That's a contradiction. I want to be seen and to serve so many more people and to have more money, but I'm scared of responsibility. I want to share this ancestral story and inspire a generation, but I don't want my ancestors to be offended, and I know they wouldn't share this. Contradictions. They are not inherently bad. They are part of the human experience. We all have them. It's part of being human. Guidance is here because you have inherent medicine that you know needs to be shared now. That you have a mission, you have something to express in the world. You have you have something coming through you that is of service. And it's no longer time to wait. And when you're this close to your life, not even a half an inch from your own gifts and your own life, it is so difficult to see what is contorted in your field, what contradictions are there. On a conscious level, you might be like, all of me wants this. But if all of you is on board, then there wouldn't be so much resistance. There wouldn't be such, it wouldn't be over here on a pedestal and not just assumed. And so that's why guidance is so valuable because it allows you to be seen fully and completely in your power without that being changed at all and eliminating, or I would say even bringing harmony to those things that right now butt heads, those things in your reality, in your beliefs, in your field that are contradicting one another. I want this, but I don't. I want to be seen, but I don't want anybody to see me. I want to serve, but I don't think I have anything to offer. I want lots of money, but I don't want responsibility. I want to put myself out there and change the world, but I don't want to feel unsafe. I don't want to take risk. Contradictions are not there by accident. They're a part of your path. They actually make your inherent medicine stronger. They're part of the stories you tell. They're part of the way that you help others and you're of service in whatever field you're in. The fact that you've had these things, like it's what it is to be human. You're not just inherently part of the one, just totally amorphous and at complete harmony with all that is. And that's not by accident, that's a beautiful thing. So the invitation is you get to enjoy that process. And you get to, for lack of a better word, quantum jump. Because all it is normally you might be walking on a path from here, from this finger to this finger. And you're thinking, oh, I gotta walk this whole way. I gotta walk this whole way. But actually, there's only one contradiction in your field that we find harmony to through a seer, through another set of eyes, through actual guidance, and boom, you don't have to walk all the way over here. The path collapses, and you're instantly in energetic resonance with what you've seen for yourself, with what you know is ultimately you and is ultimately yours. And that's the true beauty of this, right? That's what this is all about. And the pressure that I talked about at the beginning, we all have patterns, contradictions again, where we we have these patterns because we want to relieve the discomfort. We want to relieve the pain. And that pain usually boils down to I want to feel safe. I want to feel like I belong. I want to feel like I'm worthy. And one or two or all three of those things might be really insecure, right? I guess you could say. And so it's difficult to stand fully firm in your inherent medicine when one of those is at play because the discomfort is intense. Terror, I don't feel safe. Shame, unworthiness, being alone, not belonging anywhere. Divorced from story, divorced from thought, the sensation of those feelings, the sensation of that in the body is intense. And we don't want to face it. But what's amazing to realize is that those things are not the truth. Because in an ultimate sense, you are part of the one, so you do belong, you are inherently worthy, and you are safe as a soul, as a spirit. That's why people with faith get to skip ahead. Because when you have faith, you can just know that that's true underneath it all. But you don't have to have faith in anything outside of yourself. You don't have to have faith in like a specific being. All you have to have faith in is that. Or also, and go find out for yourself, right? Feel the discomfort. Divorce the sensation from thought. Observe what's actually happening. Underneath, you will find the unconditional love. Underneath, you will find the belonging, the worthiness, the safety. And this will, this will eliminate so much of that contradiction in your field. Because all it is like when it's like, I want this, but I don't want this, right? That's what I mean by contradiction. I want this, but I don't want this. All of those are happening because on some level, whatever pattern they're playing out is alleviating some of the discomfort that doesn't want to be felt in your body. Because it's like, well, if I can escape in this way, or normally, and it could be different things. It could be avoiding and numbing out. It could be working extra hard and pushing and chasing it, because you don't feel worthy. Like whatever it is, it's like if underneath it all there's some part of you that doesn't feel good enough, then you'll chase, then you'll want to do better and better and better, and you'll want to always be blooming and always be going out and always be proving. And this will contradict your desire for wealth and money with ease. And so it's not automatically yours because of that contradiction. But underneath it, it's the illusion that you're unworthy. And in order to come to the other side of that, the only way that I've discovered so far, at least, is to feel it. And that's why I said faith, because it's kind of like walking into a dark cave where you feel all like, ugh, like it feels like, wow, what if there really is no worth? Or what if there really is no safety? Or what if there really is no belonging? What if there really is everything to fear and the isolation and the whatever it is, and it's like you walk into that cave and you face it. And it gets easier because you realize that there's a pattern and you hear it from other people too. Oh, other people who've walked into the cave, other people who've gone down this road, and they say, "Oh, it turns out there's a truth on the other side." And the truth is that you're inherently worthy, and the truth is that you already belong, and the truth is that you are already safe and already saved, and you didn't need to worry about that, and you didn't need to chase that. Lots of people talk about this. People on spiritual paths, they talk about this. So that's something. But when you're in it, you're in it. And when I'm really, really in it, and I know that something is ready to shift, right? I was at the depths of scarcity. I was like, oh my God. I overcommitted myself in things I had to pay for. Oh my God. My income dipped more than I thought it would. But I knew that ultimately the distance between me and wealth was me putting it on a pedestal, thinking it was something that didn't belong to me, thinking I had to just work and prove and all these things. And I just relaxed my body and felt the sensation of the scarcity. I felt the sensation of the fear. The sensation of that, of like, what if things are not okay? And I didn't think about it as a thought. I didn't let it become a story. I just felt it in my body. And yeah, okay, maybe there was some story and some freaking out. But I kept coming back to the breath, to the tears, to the body of this feeling of what if it's not okay, of this feeling of fear, of terror. And I relaxed and I breathed. I breathed. Breathing was happening. And I relaxed and I allowed. And just as it had gotten to that extreme, the very next day, I got a call surprising me with a large sum of money, more than I could ever imagine, from a settlement case that was supposed to be a total dud, that was supposed to just be maybe a couple $1,000s, they told me, maybe. I got a call the very next day offering me, saying their first offer, and it was the exact same number, the exact same number as my yearly revenue. And when I had looked at my yearly revenue, I took it in with gratitude. I received, I allowed myself to receive that number a couple of weeks prior. And so then when I was in the throes of scarcity of like, oh no, but I've overcommitted myself and now my income is going down. And instead of acting from that place of what if things are not okay, my income's coming down, whatever, okay, I'm going to chase, I'm going to make things happen, I'm going to force it, I'm going to freak out, I'm going to do what I normally do when things don't feel like they're going to be okay. No, I didn't do that. And when you don't take action from that place and you instead just like have a bit of a meltdown and feel the feeling, and you don't actually take action from that, the loop breaks, the pattern breaks. And it's more intense, it's more pressure, but it doesn't last as long as you think it's going to, because then the very next day I was offered my whole yearly revenue again, all at once. All at once. Because I had already allowed myself to receive that, to normalize it, to assume it. And there it was. So bringing about a different reality is not about feeling good all the time. I would say that's not been my experience at all. That's not been what it is for me. It's not been that I'm always positive. I actually allow myself to be very highly emotional. But I also feel it gets easier because it's like you start to assume that this process is going to work because it has multiple times. And once that happens, it's a little bit more self-compounding. You don't have to trick yourself as much because you're like, oh, this actually works. Things can shift. My reality can be different, right? And the way to have a truly satisfying life, the life of your dreams, the life of your desires, is to be fully present and expressed in your inherent medicine, in who you are. And not just who you are, but what you're here to give, what you're here to share. This is your inherent medicine. This is what's going to bring you actual joy, actual satisfaction, because you're in that. It's not just about chilling, in my opinion. And that doesn't mean everybody's going to have a business, but it does mean in some way you are in relationship. You are in relationship to the world. You are in relationship to others. Your inherent medicine, it it has meaning because people interact with it. Because the world interacts with it, because it changes things. Because the yew tree exists, we have cancer medicine. So the pressure that it takes to stand firm in your inherent medicine, even when you haven't gotten that validation back, back when they were chopping down all the yew trees, right? When you're starting your business, when you're not getting views, when you're not getting likes, when you haven't made as many sales as you wanted, or maybe you haven't made any sales yet. It doesn't matter. There's nothing inherently wrong with you. Do you see that? Take a step back, neutralize it. A new perspective. Imagine if the yew tree thought, I must actually be garbage. They're all calling me the garbage tree. I must be garbage. And so then she tried to dim her medicine. No. And when you're standing firm in your inherent medicine and you are an entrepreneur and you are building a business, it will trigger all the wounds. You will feel unsafe. You will feel unworthy. You will feel like you don't belong. That's why people call it personal development on crack. That's why people talk about this as a spiritual journey. That's why I talk about this as a spiritual journey. And that's why it's so vital and so powerful for you to stand in that inherent medicine, even when you're getting nothing back, even when it hurts, because it's not even about you at the end of the day, but it's about knowing that the value you inherently have, when fully expressed, when fully loved and owned and brought forth into the world, that you really, embracing that creates more value in the world. From that, you get to create more value. From that, you get to solve problems. You get to uplift people. You get to change things. You get to see when you see something and you say that should be different. This thing over here, I know it could be different. I know it could be better. That's not for you to just say. That's for you to do something about. When you feel this pull, you're like, "Oh, I want to speak. I want to speak." But nobody will watch. Who cares? Speak. You want to speak, so speak. You want to dance, dance. It's happening for a reason. You see something happening and you're like, "Oh my gosh, why is it this way?" Why? And then everybody tells you, "Well, this is just the way it is. It has to be this way." Oh, I guess I better make it work for me. I guess I better make it work for my business. And it feels wrong to you the entire time. No, you're being poked at to solve a marketplace problem, which is the whole freaking point in the first place, for you to bring your value, your medicine, not for you to be told that you got to do it in this way because this is just the way it is. If you know within you that's no, it doesn't have to be that way. Nope. And yeah, it takes some faith and it takes the ability to relax the body. The best skill I ever developed was the skill to relax my body when feeling incredible amounts of pain, sensation, pressure, all of the above. That paired with the ability to not follow my thoughts, to just allow those to be whatever they are and not listen. To just be like, well, I'm in a nervous system heightened state right now, so I'm not going to listen to all those thoughts, and I'm just instead going to be here with this pain, with this sensation. The ability to do that is the most valuable skill that you will ever have. And at the end of the day, there's no magic key or magic fix or magic fairy dust that stops that. And thank goodness, because you need that. There's gold there because you get to be who you are. You get to be your inherent medicine. It doesn't need to be fixed. It doesn't need to be alleviated. It doesn't need magic fairy dust. The power is within you to audaciously, unapologetically, divinely be exactly what you are in this world. And it might be harsh, and it might be too bitter for some people, and it might be too spicy for some people, and it might be too sweet for some people. It might be poisonous to some. You might be the sun giving people sunburns and skin cancer, but guess what? You're also giving the whole planet fucking life. It's not always going to be pretty, but you're here to be this. You're here to be the garbage tree who then becomes revered for a life-changing medicine. You're here to be exactly what you are. And so when you feel that pull, no matter how scary, I know you can do this because it's already you and it's already yours. All right. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time.